Very well, Council. We continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Fatajo, before the break, we were trying to locate the signature page of the agreement in connection to the transmission and distribution and rehabilitation projects. I believe you have compiled the agreement now.
Yes.
And you have the signature page.
Yes.
Could you give the date of the agreement and who signed the agreement? And the consideration, that is the price for the services that were offered by Global Trading Group.
On the side of GTG, it was signed by Mohamed Bazi and witnessed by Amadou Samba. On the side of NAWEC, it was signed by the then Managing Director, Mustafa Kaur, and endorsed by the Permanent Secretary, Office of the President, Permanent Secretary, Department of State for Finance and Economic Affairs, and Central Bank of the Gambia.
Okay. Do you know who signed on behalf of Central Bank?
No, I don't. The names are not there. The signatures are there, but I don't know.
You can't decipher the signature.
Yes.
What is the date of the agreement?
First day of August 2001.
It is supported by conditions of contract based on the FIDIC contract template?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you put the two documents together? Do you have any other documents that accompany those agreements? That
yeah, I also have minutes of meeting between the representative of GTG and NAWEC concerning basically on the budget for this project.
How much, what is the price?
The price was $14,847,534.23 bututs.
Can you repeat it? Did you say 14?
Yes. $14,855,294.63 bututs.
Okay.
According to the contract.
All right. Thank you very much.
But the minutes of meeting seems to suggest that there is a shortfall in the budget, and therefore that exercise was meant to reduce scope to enable them to stay within the available budget.
All right.
So that is also I want to tender as an attachment.
For the record, could you indicate the date of that meeting and who was present?
Yeah, this was on the 25th of July, 2001. And in the deliberations were Mohamed Bazi, representing GTG, Jahin Terry, representing IMM, and on the side of NAWEC, you had the Managing Director, Mustafa Kaur, the Finance Director, Baba Jajusi, Power Supply Director, Tijan Bahum, Independent Power Projects Manager, Abdullah Ndur, Transmission and Distribution Manager, Lansabali, and Technical Planning Manager, Momodu Eke Njai.
But the minutes are with regard to the transmission and distribution
Yeah, they project. Are with regards to transmission and distribution.
In terms of staying within the budget for the contract, what is the impact on the scope of works in terms of percentage? Can you determine that?
It has to be calculated because they are saying that the available budget was $12 million and the shortfall was $2,847,534. 23 bututs.
Okay, so it's not that the 14 million was available. The shortfall was in the money that was available.
Yes.
Not that the scope of work or prices increased and you could do less?
No, they went through an exercise of reducing the scope to enable them to implement the project.
Which is 12 points.
Well, which is 12 million. Yes.
12 million exactly.
Yes, but I'm yet to establish whether that was the final cost of the project.
This project was financed by Taiwan. Are you aware of that?
Well, unfortunately, I was not part of this, so
Yes, I understand you are not, but you are still within NAWEC, and you are now the managing director. From the records, are you aware that it was financed by Taiwan?
Well, I have to establish that.
Okay. All right. It would be important for us to understand where the shortfall lay. Did Taiwan give less money? Because we need those questions answered. Could you confirm from your record? Because the evidence we have, the Ministry of Finance already tendered the loans from Taiwan, which is MS 160. 2 loans, one for 5 million United States dollars to finance a 6 megawatt generator, which we cannot find, which seems not to exist. And then you have a second loan, which is for $25 million is approximately, which was to finance, and which was to finance the 3 generating sets and the transmission line, the transmission and distribution, rehabilitation of the transmission and distribution lines. So we need to understand where the shortfall lay, how it happened.
Okay, I'll endeavor to do that.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Are those the only documents you have in connection with the transmission and distribution project?
Yeah, those are the documents.
Okay. We'll take the documents from you. In 2002 also, let me have it admitted so that we separate the issues. Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have admitted contract for an 18 megawatt transmission and distribution rehabilitation project dated 1st August 2001 between Global Trading Group and NAWEC, together with the FIDIC-based contract terms and conditions. Where you didn't give me the minutes? Okay, and minutes of a meeting between IMM and NAWEC held on July 25, 2001, according to the witness, to revise the scope of works to fit within the budget that was available.
Start from 88A. Contract dated 1st August 2001 between Global Trading Group, GTG, and NAWEC, re 18 megawatt transmission and distribution and rehabilitation project for Greater Banjul area, admitted marked SC 88A. FIDIC-based contract dated 12 October 2001 between GTG, International Montage Maintenance, IMM, and NAWEC concerning transmission, distribution, and rehabilitation project for the Greater Banjul area, admitted mark SC88 B, SC88B. Minutes of meeting between IMM and NAWEC dated 25th July 2001 to finalize and adopt technical proposals from IMM to NAWEC, admitted mark SC88C.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Fatajo.
Yes, ma'am.
Contracts were entered into between NAWEC and Global Trading Group for heavy fuel importation.
That's correct, ma'am.
And a folder of documents have been provided to us from your institution. Are you in a position to talk about those documents, or you have another officer who would tender those documents?
I think I can talk about them because
you can talk about them. Okay. Do you have the agreements for?
Yes, I have.
For heavy fuel?
Yes, I have.
Supply?
I have the agreement.
Okay. Mr. Conte, Mr. Alaji Conte had provided copies of agreements that he had, some of which were not completely signed. What agreements do you have with regard to the supply of heavy fuel oil by Global Trading Group to NAWEC? Can you take us from the first agreement to the last agreement? We need to have, in sequence, all the agreements that were signed. Do you have them?
I have two of them.
You have two of them?
Two. Yeah, one...
To your knowledge, how many agreements were signed?
To the best of my knowledge, these are the two that I came across, because they were 5 years agreements.
Okay, let's have the first one.
The first one was dated 26th of July 2002.
Okay. Signed by who?
On the side of GTG, it was signed by Mohamed Bazi and witnessed by Amadou A. Samba. On the side of NAWEC, it was signed by the then Managing Director, Mustafa Kaur, and witnessed by the then Finance Director, Baba Jajusi.
Okay. I'm going to show you Exhibit SC82B and kindly confirm whether it's the same agreement that we are talking about. What is the second agreement?
The second agreement was signed on the 7th, on the 30th of July, 2007.
Okay. Between Global Trading Group and NAWEC?
Between Global Trading Group and NAWEC, yes.
Who signed that agreement?
On the side of Global Trading Group, it was signed by Mohamed Bazi and witnessed by Manhal. On the side of NAWEC, it was signed by the then Managing Director, Momodou Jallo, and witnessed by the then Finance Director, Alaji Jallo.
All right. Again, I will show you. I don't think this was standard, but that's fine. So those are the two agreements you have.
Yes, those are the two agreements I have.
There is no agreement signed in 2012?
In 2012, I don't have that with me here.
Do you know whether the agreement was extended in 2012?
Yeah, I know that there was a facility from the ECOWAS Commission to the Gambia, and they were the ones who were contracted. So it may be related to that, but I'll have to confirm.
In 2012, you were Power Generation Director?
Yes, I was Power Generation Director.
You were not involved in these agreements in 2012?
No, I cannot remember.
Who was the Managing Director in 2012? It's not clear from the list you have provided.
2012, it was Ibrahim Asanyang.
All right. Thank you very much. Kindly confirm whether the first agreement is the same as SE 82B I have just shown you, and then let's do that first.
Yes, it's the same.
All right, thank you. Then return that exhibit and the agreement dated in 2007, signed by Momodou Jallo. Can you collect the agreements from the witness, please? Do you have any other documents you would wish to bring to this Commission's attention in relation to?
I think as an attachment to this particular contract.
Which one?
The one for 2002.
You have some attachments.
Yes, there is a contract between NAWEC and Global Trading Group to build, own, operate.
NAWEC and who?
Global Trading Group and NAWEC.
Yes.
To build a 10,000 metric ton tank farm.
Okay.
At NAWEC's property at Halfdai.
What is the connection between that agreement and the heavy fuel supply agreement?
Well, if you look at the contract, I think the documents that form an integral part of that contract is one of them, Exhibit D.
Yes. Exhibit C.
Yes.
You're talking about, you're referring to the terms and conditions, clause 1A.
Yes.
All right. I'll show you Exhibit SC82D. I'll kindly confirm whether it's the bill, own, operate, and transfer agreement that you have drawn my attention to. Mr. Fatajo.
Yes.
The testimony we have before this commission was that this 10,000 metric ton tank farm project, which was to be built at Halfday in Banjul, was part of the pricing that was agreed in the contract dated the 26th July 2002. Was that your understanding?
I also heard it when I was listening to the deliberations of Mr. Conte. It is not very explicit in the contracts that we have, but I came across a correspondence from GTG when they requested for an extension of the contract. That led to the signing of the second contract in 2007.
Do you have the correspondence?
Yes, I have the correspondence, and actually a mention of the construction of that was made, and then they were saying that because they could not construct that facility, they were offering to store NAWEC's heavy fuel oil at Mandinari tank farm for them at no cost if they were to be awarded this contract. So that actually suggests that there must be some form of an agreement, because otherwise I cannot connect why reference should be made to that. And secondly, also there is an attachment to that letter where a breakdown of the cost was given. And then there is a note that indicates that the previous contracts with other suppliers, the premium was something like 14.4%. And they are charging 17%, and that 17% was meant to accrue funds that would actually pay for the tank farm.
The 10,000 metric ton tank farm?
Yeah, the 10,000 metric ton tank farm.
Which was supposed to have been built at Halfday?
Yes. There was an indication of that, but I'm not sure whether this actually came from GTG or it was a tabulation from NAWEC.
Did you say that there is an attachment to the letter from GTG?
Yeah, it is attached to the letter from GTG.
Which you found where? In your files?
Which I found in the files, yes.
What is the date of the letter from GTG and who signed it?
This was on the 11th of August 2006.
Signed by?
Signed by Mohammed Bazi.
All right.
Sorry, signed for Mohammed Bazi. I don't know, I don't recognize the signature, but it was signed for him.
All right. So basically they were offering to offset.
To offset that, but then what I have also realized is that should that be, then they should have actually reverted to the original price that supposedly was the point of reference. But the 17% was maintained in the extended contract. So actually that, I'm not a financial guy, but actually that means that what they are offering in offsetting that, the prices were still maintained. So that means one has to walk back to see how much that would have translated into, because in that tabulation they use a constant figure, and the figure was moving because at the time of that computation, the price for per metric ton was $271. And I could remember, you know, the prices hiked to a level that at some point, NAWEC was paying something like $708 US. So if you take the percentages, of course, this is a very conservative figure.
Okay. Mr. Fatojo, what I understand you to be saying is that, and you may correct me, of course, if I didn't get you correctly, that when the agreement for the supply of heavy fuel oil was signed on the 26th July 2002,
yes,
embedded in the price was a markup to build a 10,000 metric ton tank at Halfday, and that was not built. And the correspondence you came across, this is from, of course, the correspondence you came across, suggests that Global Trading Group admitted that the tank could not be built, and therefore they would compensate NAWEC by a free storage of fuel for NAWEC at GAM Petroleum. Is that it?
Yes, that is it. But as I said, because these are legal things, so I'm not a legal guy,
no,
so
that's
I would
fine.
not
You're
know.
just speaking as the
But
current managing director.
Yes,
sorry, let me just make this clear. I do understand that you did not participate in some of these contracts, but you happen to be the managing director at this time, quite a number of years later, and you're going by the record.
Yes.
So you do not have to keep on apologizing for the fact that you were not there. You're just presenting the evidence as you found it in your records.
That's true.
Do you understand? Now, I just want us, the Commission, the record, to capture the correct position. You are also saying that if that is the case, then the price that was charged going forward ought to have been revised. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, logically, yes, I could see sense in that, because otherwise I do not see what would be the, how do I call it? What would be the reason for them to go in for a higher margin when they were getting it for something less? So there must be something that, if you connect the dots, then there must, it is logical that the attraction was that that facility was going to be built.
And they did get the second contract?
Yes.
They did get a second contract,
yes,
based on that offer that they have made?
Yes.
Now, did they provide storage free of charge to NAWEC? Further to that undertaking in that letter that you have?
Well, not to my knowledge, because the thing is, for me, normally it's just a transition. When the vessel comes, it pumps into their tank, and then we draw from there to our facilities. And since they are bringing in that stock, as long as it is not in our tanks, I don't think it belongs to us. It doesn't belong to us until it is lifted from there to our tanks. So therefore, that argument for me doesn't actually hold.
So basically, the offer really meant nothing. You were not getting anything from the offer. That's what you're saying?
Well, that is my opinion on this.
Fair enough. Okay. Is there any other document? What is the date of the document? You said the correspondence signed on behalf of Global Trading Group or Mr. Bazi?
It was on the 11th of August, 2006.
And then a second agreement was signed by Mamadou Bijalo in 2007.
Yes.
Do you have any other documents you would like to add?
No.
Mr. Fatojo, the testimony before this commission refers to the capacity charge under this agreement. Are you in a position to talk about the capacity charge?
Capacity charge is in relation to the
The IPP?
The IPP, not the fuel.
Not this one.
Yes.
Thank you for drawing that to my attention. I have a folder that was provided from your office. I'm going to give you the folder and just confirm that these documents in the folder are from your office and are in connection to the HFO agreements. You can give me the documents you have already referred to. That is the agreement that was signed in 2007 and the correspondence. Can you collect the documents already referred to? We have the agreement dated 26 July 2002, which is Exhibit 82B. You have identified it. And we also have the Bill Own, Operate and Transfer Agreement, which is SC 82D. So we need the agreement dated in 2007, as well as the correspondence that you have referred to.
Those are the two separate.
Meanwhile, please confirm that that folder is from your office and that the documents are in connection with the supply agreement.
Yes, they are from our office, but the finance director is the one who should be dealing with this.
Who compiled them and can speak to them?
Yes, he compiled them, so I will not...
Okay, that's fine. We will still apply to have them admitted so that the documents stay together in one exhibit, and the finance director will be invited to speak to them. Could you collect the documents, please? Thank you. Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have admitted an agreement said to be signed on the 30th July 2007 between Global Trading Group and NAWEC. It is the signature of the parties dated, the witness actually, Alaji Jallo, one Alaji Jallo, dates is 37/2007, but the commencement date on the agreement itself actually says 24 July 2002. I presume that must be a mistake. The date at the beginning says 24 July 2002.
Yeah, it must have been a typo error, because it seems...
But the signatory that the witness did sign and date as 30th July 2007, and it was also endorsed on the cover page as 30th July 2007. together with correspondence from Global Trading Group sent by fax to NAWEC on the 14th August 2006. The letter itself is dated 11th August 2006, addressed to Mr. Abdou Diop, Managing Director, NAWEC, and signed on behalf of Mr. Bazi, which indicates that the scope of the original contract stipulates that Global Trading Group would build a storage facility for NAWEC to discharge the HFO at AFDAI. However, following intensive soil tests which we carried out at AFDAI, it was apparent that the soil was very poor quality, that it would not be feasible to build a storage facility due to the astronomical amount of micropiling required. Consequently, it was decided to offer NAWEC free storage for their HFO deliveries at the newly constructed tank farm of our sister company, GAM Petroleum at Mandinari, which is due to be completed by the end of this year. The scope includes free storage of HFO for NAWEC at GAM Petroleum facilities, including all depot management fees, in addition to free delivery of HFO from Mandinari to Kotu Power Plant for a period of 5 years. Together with a folder of documents provided by NAWEC as relating to the HFO agreements, heavy fuel oil agreements.
agreement for the sale and supply of heavy fuel oil, HFO, to NAWEC by and between GTG and NAWEC, dated 24th July 2002, admitted mark SC 89A. Folder containing correspondence, MOU, and other documents relating to HFO agreement between GTG and NAWEC, admitted mark SC 89B.
Mr. Fatajo, could you explain, was there any difference between the pricing in 2002 and the pricing in 2007? If you need the exhibits in order to answer that question, please say so.
I'll have to look at them again.
Could you give the exhibits to the witness, please? Mr. Kurang, the witness needs the exhibits.
Sorry, I have one.
You have a copy.
No, I don't have a complete copy.
You have. You may wish to refer to clause 17 in the agreement dated 26 July 2002 and clause 9 in the 2007 agreement.
Price.
Clause 17 says the price of HFO shall be the Platts plus freight plus 17% plus customs, duties, sales tax, harbor dues, and port charges.
Yes.
And the 207 says the price of HFO shall be the average of plant's quotation for fuel oil 1% under the heading cargoes NWE basis RR plus freight of $52 per metric ton, which is, it means the freight is flat, plus 17%.
The one that I have doesn't have clause
Sorry,
17.
You don't have clause 17?
Yeah.
Exhibit 82B? Is it
82A.
marked Exhibit 82B?
82B.
Sorry, it's not in that file. Do you have, did you give the witness the exhibits?
82B was not brought to me.
Okay. I'll show you this, the one we have. If you have the agreement dated the 26th of July 2002, oh, I believe you passed it here.
Yes, that one I have. I have a copy of that one.
Which one don't you have?
The 2007.
You can show him this one. Yes. Let me know exhibit number. Clause 9.
Clause 9.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they are different.
But yes, we want to understand the difference. The 2002 one seems quite straightforward. Flats plus freight plus 17%, which you have, well, we have the evidence is that it includes the building up of a 10,000 metric tons tank in half-die.
Yeah.
But apart, that remains the same. But
Yeah.
there seems to be differences we need to understand.
Plus freight. It seems that the freight in the second case is a flat, it's a fixed price.
Freight is fixed.
It's fixed.
Okay.
In the second case, it's fixed. Whilst there, it is normally determined maybe
By the charges?
yeah.
Well, it's assumed that it will be whatever is charged for freight.
Yes, that means they have fixed the freight, which maybe in this other one is not determined, just like Platts.
Okay.
But in this particular case, is determined. They agreed on a figure that they will be paying per metric ton as freight charges.
Is that the only difference?
Huh?
That's the only difference? You have to answer now because you'll be coming back in any event. You could take your time and study the pricing so that we will know what increased, what changed in 2007. We need to understand that. Okay. Now, just going back to the 17%, if the 17% in 2002 included provision for the tanks, you are saying, I think if I understand you, that the 17% ought to have been revised downwards in 2007 to exclude the provisioning. The provision, let me not use provisioning before the accountant take me up on it. Accountants take me up. The provision for the tank. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that because otherwise making reference to that would not make any sense to me.
Now
if they were to retain the same amount, because if it was something that was going to be negotiated and agreed upon, then it wouldn't make sense to me.
Okay, I think that is logical.
Yes.
If there was a top-up to build tanks in half-die,
yes,
which wasn't done and which was to be compensated for,
exactly,
yet the same 17% was still maintained. Then what was the purpose?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, actually.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
My concern is how come NAWEC did not appreciate, if I may use that word, the distinction. Can you answer that?
At the time of executing this contract, the situation was different in the sense that maybe when the managing director, Mr. Jallo, comes, he will throw some light on this. But they had absolute authority in NAWEC.
You mean GTG had absolute authority?
Yes, because GTG, there was a management contract with them. I'm not a legal person, but when you look at their mandate, it actually goes to show that definitely they were in control. So, and I think the board, according to that contract, and the managing director are not all that empowered to.
Okay, thank you very much. This was the period during which Global Trading Group had the management contract.
Yes.
For NAWEC, with the government for NAWEC.
Yes.
All right. Maybe that takes us to the management agreement. Do you have the management contract that was signed?
Yes, I have.
Could you indicate the date, the parties, and who signed on behalf of both parties?
This was dated on the 2nd of October 2006.
Between Global Trading Group and NAWEC?
And Government of the Gambia.
And government, sorry, repeat the parties, please.
Government of the Gambia, NAWEC, and Global Management Systems. Agreement for management of NAWEC.
Date?
Date 2nd day of October 2006.
Who signed for the parties?
A representative of the government, the name is not indicated, and I don't know the signatory, but there was somebody who signed on behalf of government, yes.
Okay.
And on side of NAWEC, it was signed by the then Managing Director, Mamadou Diallo, and then Mr. Mohamed Bazi signed on behalf of GMS.
Thank you very much. Is there any other document you would like to tender together with that agreement?